What's up, this is Jim from Ready Check Pull, and let's talk about some of the absolutely stunning Tmog sets that have been added for the Shadowlands Alpha so far. Let's be honest up front, I wasn't expecting much for Tmog, as the BFA expansion, if that's what you want to call it, showed us just how awful all of the starter, raid / faction Tmogs can be. These new Shadowlands armor sets completely dookie all over the starter sets from BFA. I can't tell you how hyped I am to get my hands on some of these. We're going to talk about some of the unique armor sets from all 4 covenants. So far, it looks like each covenant gets a set for each armor type, as well as 3 cloak tiers to really bring home the feel of the set and also give you something pretty amazing to work towards. Alright, the Kyrians. Kyrians get the Bastion set, which perfectly encapsulates the lore of the Kyrians and the Bastion zone. Being steadfast guardians who carry out the souls of the dead, the tier 1 and tier 2 cloaks look more like golden structures attached to your back than an actual cloak. The quote-unquote holy look is even further brought forth when looking at the tier 3 cloak. Blue angel wings with a golden base is going to make many priests and paladins happy. It's just absolutely insane how much personality is in these cloaks alone. The plate armor looks fantastic. Like the old text says, living beings have wished to become something greater than themselves since time immemorial. That's just from the Blizzard website. The several color tints are gold, brass, dark purple, and silver, each with blue wisps coming from the shoulders and helm. So leather. The leather armor sets have the old rogue Bloodfang look to them, but with much more detail. The gold set looks good, but the brass set and the purple set looks super unique. I can definitely see my Zandalari troll looking super fresh in these sets. But damn! Those cloth sets, whew! Cloth wearers were definitely not left out. Usually, in my opinion, plate armor always looks the best while the other armor types suffer a little bit. However, this cloth set has to be one of the best sets I've seen in all of the expansions. The gold and white set works amazingly well with the tier 1 and 2 cloaks. Don't get me wrong, the tier 3 cloak looks great too, but man, does the tier 1 cloak go so well with this set. The brass set, silver set, and purple set all look amazing too. It's such a breath of fresh air to see such gorgeous faction sets. Now, the male sets are probably a work in progress, but honestly, I don't have any doubts that they're gonna look just as good as the others. Let's move on to the Venthar Revendreth set. The Venthar, better known as the Eaters of Sin, who harvest animal with wicked souls. Oof, that just tickles my bad side. The tier 1 and 2 cloaks look really good. The obelisk from the tier 1 cloak glowing red is a nice bloody touch, while the tier 2 cloak has a sleek but sinister set of blades attached to it. But what the f is the tier 3 cloak? More like tier 3 backpack tombstone. This is probably going to be the base for every Gravekeeper's Mog set ever. Super unique, and I can't wait to put it on. The plate set, as usual, looks great. There's a ton of detail that you might actually miss some of them. Gargoyles sitting on your shoulders, a horned skull, blades, or tombstones strapped to your back just oozes evil. We don't know the color variants yet, but even if there weren't any, this set is pretty badass. The leather set looks good, but I'm a little jealous that the gargoyles aren't a part of this set. I do like that the details are toned down, and it doesn't have so many details, which allows the tier 2 and 3 cloaks to pop a little bit more. With that said, it doesn't really hold up to the plate armor set, but that's really just a compliment of how sick the plate armor set looks. The cloth Venthar set looks nuts. This set rivals and also looks a bit like the infamous Warlock tier 6 set, albeit with smaller wings, but damn, those wings are sexy. The spike-helmed crown over a dark hood matches each of the cloak tiers perfectly. This set is so good. If there's any set that's gonna make my boy Frias finally switch from the tier 6 set, it's this one. God bless. Again, no male set. Hopefully the male set keeps the gargoyle shoulders. That's all we can really wish for. Neckerlords. Now we're getting to the bones of these sets. Terrible pun. The Neckerlords get the Maldraxxus armor set. Tier 1 cloak looks a little lackluster to be honest, but maybe it'll look better with the full sets. The tier 2 and 3 cloaks, on the other hand, look really good. The featherless boned wings from the tier 2 cloak might even look pretty good with the BOD set from BFA. And the crystals from the tier 3 cloak are super unique, and I can definitely think of a ton of cool options. It would be really great if they eventually get color variants to add to the crystals, but even without it, it still looks pretty awesome. The plate set looks good. The glowing shoulders are probably the best part, maybe the helm, but the rest is just okay. This set does not at all help the tier 1 cloak. I'm afraid that version of the cloak is probably getting overshadowed by the other two options. That crystal from tier 3 though, it just looks so good. Holy ladies and gentlemen, we have a male set. I repeat, we have a male armor set, and it looks badass. Better than the plate set. The single shoulder pad is a dope touch and really helps make the tier 2 and tier 3 cloaks stand out when looking from the front. Super happy with this male set for sure. Now the leather set looks gnarly in the most flattering way. The bend angles and off-colored brown and green looks fantastic. I love the helm, and even the gloves and boots look super good. Probably the best leather set so far in Shadowlands. Now, for the cloth set. Something is off with this set. I look at it and think, this is pretty good. Does it look good? Looks kind of weird. The more I look at it, the more I don't really like it. I can't really put my finger on it, but something just isn't right. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. Looks good at first glance, looks not so good at any other glance, whatever that means. Alright, the Night Fae. I gotta say, I'm really digging all three cloaks. The simplistic vines of the tier 1 cloak is a subtle nod to the forest look, while the tier 2 cloak with the glowing blue center and animated moss looks super good as well. The tier 3 traveler style cloak with 2 lamps and forest styled backpack will go great with any nomadic style transmog. This plate set seems a bit toned down, but still has some really amazing color work. The blue shoulders and off-white base and the Lord of the Rings elvish style helm goes really well with this tier 1 and tier 2 cloaks. Lo and behold, we have another male set ready for our viewing pleasure. The male wearers are getting some serious love with these sets. I don't really understand why this set is missing a helm, but holy hell, this set looks fantastic. The blue and brown colors go perfectly well with all three cloaks, and everything from the gloves, shoulders, pants, boots, everything looks so good. Hats off to the designers. Thank you, whoever you are. Hats off. Okay, I know I said that the last leather set was the best armor set of Shadowlands, but this one is pretty damn close. Look at the detail in the line work and how the edges perfectly flow into each other. Those bracers, or gloves maybe, are just amazing. All three cloaks match this set super well. The same cannot be said for the cloth set. It's okay, but doesn't hold a candle to the other three Ardenweald sets. I don't really like the sleeveless look on this one and think the shoulders have a funky greenish color that I'm not really into. The tier 1 cloak looks okay with it, but the other two don't look so good. I think it's just the helm maybe throwing me off. Anyways, we'll just ignore this cloth set and be super hyped for the other sets because damn, they look so good. And that's really all the info we have so far on the Covenant sets. I'm thinking that Blizzard is bringing out their A game with this expansion and can't wait to collect every one of these mogs. Let me know which armor sets you'll be avoiding and which ones you're most excited about in the comments.